make a start with Adrian's question, what you asked me. Let me find that. Show some examples of longer term non-horizontal trend lines. So diagonal trend lines provide thoughts around where it is best to place these lines. Good question, Adrian. Something that I don't think you do a lot of in your TA. I've seen a few people say that diagonal trend lines are no good, but it's all about how you use them. All right, can everyone hear me for starters?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
And can you in the chat if you can hear me? All good. All right then. For starters, I'm gonna show something called the trend angle tool. In TradingView, if you want to find the trend angle tool, all you have to do is right click on this and the trend angle over here. I'm gonna go to CRV. So if you're trying to draw a diagonal trend line, when you use what you want to do is you want to come to your chart. You want to ideally go on the daily, but sometimes charts are really big and you can't fit the entire chart into a daily timescale. So you can use the weekly one if you have to. But in this one, CRV fits nicely into the daily time frame. So as you can see, we've got the whole thing on the chart. Over here at the bottom, make sure you're on log and auto. If you've got these two ticked, and then you get your trend angle tool and you go to the top and start with 45 degrees. 45 degrees is the most important angle that you can look for. And as you can see, it was an important point. After 45, we can look at 36. And as you can see again, 36 played an important role over here. And after 36, you can look at 23 or 22. Usually in that range, you get another angle. So if you look here, 23 is quite an important trend line. And then this is another little trick you can do, which I only discovered like a few months ago. But if you keep this on auto and keep this on log, and then you move your chart just to rescale it, and it will automatically rescale it. You can find other trend lines. So as you can see over here, there's a trend line from oops. Here to here. And what I like to look for when I'm looking for trend lines is I'm not just looking for something that price does this to, reject, reject, reject. Often I'm looking for something that price does this to. It dances around it for a long time, because that sort of trend line is more reliable, I've found. And if we take this from a daily down to like um, a smaller time frame, as you can see, it can be quite important to. So even right now, you could see it's probably going to come back down to this trend line around 3.6, 3.3, 3.4, and always switch between log and linear whenever you can. That's one way. So you're looking for the 45-degree angle, the 36-degree angle, and the 23-degree angle. Secondly, if I go to Bitcoin here, also actually I might as well show this while we're here. But this is a Bitcoin chart I drew a long time ago, and it basically shows periods of the bull cycle. Whoa. We've got the bull cycle, and then we've got like a consolidation period. Sometimes called it consolidation period is much shorter. That was the consolidation period there, and then a continuation. That bull cycle was weird. Anyway, um, and then we have a bear market, a correction, and then accumulation and a bull market. Sorry, that's what it is. It's accumulation, bull market, and correction. Accumulation, bull market, correction, accumulation, bull market, and correction. And I drew this a long time ago, like when Bitcoin was around this area, but it actually is sort of still on track to do this. And this would mean, damn, Bitcoin peaking at $450,000 in summer of 2022, and then a correction potentially from $450 down to $60,000, which is just where it was at a few weeks ago. So yeah, hold on. I wanted to show you guys more diagonal trend lines. So if we come to, yeah, there you go. I had it prepared. So when you think about diagonal trend lines, when you think about price movement in a diagonal line over a long period of time, you're basically watching energy um, represented on a chart spread through time. Now, what you need to do when you're looking for a diagonal trend line is to find a major bottom or a major top. Now, in this case, obviously, Bitcoin went on its first bull cycle from, insane, really, and then we got that first correction, and this was Bitcoin's first ever bear market low, was right here, right there. So we can put a trend line there, and as you can see, when it put that bottom in and then started going on another bull cycle, you can see you can, even without the trend line, you can already see that it's moving in this upwards trajectory, and it's stuck to that for a long time. So if we just like come close and let's try and get this right in the middle of all of this price movement to a point where it gets the maximum touches possible. And as you can see, there's a major bottom. So you know what? I'll stick it right there. So there we go. We have that trend line starting from all the way in 2015, coming up. It's never just going to be bouncing all the way on top. It's always going to switch below, reject, come back, and then flip it. And as you can see, that and here we are, here we are right now. So we are still flirting with this trend line. We got rejected off it at 51K 2 weeks ago. So okay, just muted. Okay, there we go. If there's anyone else making noise, please just drop in the chat and they can mute, or I can mute the mic for them. But yeah, that's one example over a long period of time, just looking for, that that point of interest. Another way to do this would be using the curve tool. So if you go to brush, we go to curve, and you go to the bottom, and then you can draw this curve line, and you can move here. So let's say put one at the bottom of this, and actually let's put it here. Go and so there you go. There's another trend line for us. If I can just so here we've used the curve tool, and as you can see, you get a bit more like flexibility over time. And you can see that what you've got here now is a channel that price has been moving in, one which is straight and one which is slightly curved. And and there's been times where we've lost both of the channels, we've dropped out of them completely, and then there's times where we've flipped it and gone into like a crazy bull run, And here we are again right now back in this channel, which goes back all the way to 2015. And we're about to test it again. And would it really be a surprise if we tested it and then boom, just did something like that again? It really wouldn't be. So for me, this I've been saying it for a few weeks. The 20th of December is a very important date, and it is tonight. And if you look at the charts, we are perfectly positioned for one more dump. Who knows how far deep it can go down? Who knows how um, how much longer it's going to last for? But on all my cards, the 20th of December and this period between now and Christmas is probably one of the best times to be buying dips all year. And yeah, uh, Oliver Burry, GAN fans can also work really good. So if we let me show you how that would work on, let's say, Digibyte. This is a Digibyte chart, by the way, actually that I drew. So uh, as you can see, we got this twin peak over here, and if you take that and you put it to these highs over here, we can see that all we're doing is we had one cycle here, a huge correction, and in a bull market, all we're doing is back testing that trend line, the resistance trend line. We're just back testing it, and there's nothing to say that we can't do another one of you know something like this. Damn, that would put Digibyte at $1. So maybe yeah, something like that. And that would be an 18, 20x, close to 20x. And that's just hopium right now. We have to see some follow through over here. But across all charts, I wanted to show the GAN fan. I'll do that quickly. So what you can do is obviously stretch the chart out so that it fits your screen. Always do this. It gives you like a clearer picture. And then we can come over here, take the high, and we can draw a 45-degree angle, which is right there, an important line. And then we can take a GAN fan and just put it across the 20-degree angle, the 45-degree angle, lock it, delete your thing, and there you go. You've got more trend lines. Now, you have to be careful. If you do too much of these, you're going to have 100 trend lines in your chart and you're not going to be sure what to look out for. But if you do it I do want to show you one more time. So remember, we've got 45, we've got 36, and we've got 69, and 23 as well. So all right, in this example, let's go for 36-degree angle. So a 30-60-degree angle, and just stretch our screen out. There we go. And again, draw a GAN fan, put it in there, and you can see. Okay, let's try 45. See, this is part of the work of looking for trends. Diagonal trend lines is just constantly playing around with different indicators, different tools, and seeing where they fit in. But again, as you can see, I drew a 45 degree, and that's what I get. If I move that to 36 degrees, then that's what I get. And both of these have proved to be important trend lines. And 23 would put us around there. So let's hope we don't have to go back there. And even if you switched from log to linear, you can get a complete different picture of the chart. I like using log, but you can use both. Another good tool. I'll do one more before I go into the 10K challenge stuff now. Um, let's go to is this one, the regression. There we go. regression trend. So come to this bottom and bring it up to now. Whoa. Yeah, make sure you're on the right. I think I've broken trading view. Fix that. No, try it on a smaller time scale. Um, so yeah, there you go. You get your channels automatically. It will show you the top and it will show you the bottom. So from here again, this is partly why I put my sold orders. If we look at them, come over here. Uh, you can see the sold order 169.6, 166.9, which is 166.9 to 169.6, roughly that region. So that's what I'm banking on, is that little correction down there all the way back up. And that's just in here, second icon, regression trend, and you've got yourself some diagonal trend lines. Um, and then you've got patterns within patterns always. So you can play with those and see where that takes you. As you can see, you have your upper, your lower, and then your in the middle, and it tightens or it broadens depending on price action. So yeah, I hope that's offered a few tips on how to draw some trend lines. I'm now going to go into the 10K challenge. Have a sip of my hot chocolate. Okay, so the premise of this is pretty simple. If you've got any questions, again, just drop them in the chat. I will get to them eventually. Um, the 10K challenge. We start off an account with 1K. I'm going to do it in KuCoin simply because most people have access to KuCoin. I know even Binance has emailed me recently asking for extra verification to continue using their futures products. So I guess once you start making enough profit on Binance, they do check up on you. But KuCoin seems a bit more relaxed in terms of that. So I hope all the Americans can get a piece of the pie when it comes to KuCoin. Um, the goal of this challenge is to get 9% profit per week. If we can get 9% profit, I've got this chart drawn up. Think of interest as just profit. Where it says interest, just think profit. And we start in month 0 with $1,000. The start date for this challenge is actually going to be the 11th of January. I'm going to start the trading tomorrow. So from tomorrow, because I want people to be able to see how it will work, even if they're not jumping straight into it right away. I want people, also, I've spoken to a lot of people who say, they would like a few more weeks to get the $1,000 ready, which is fine. I understand it's Christmas and people spend a lot of money at this time. Hopefully make it all back and get this ready by the 11th of Jan, which is plenty of time to get that sorted. And if we get our 9% profit per week from um, from from the first month, then we got what, $90 in week 1. So we've got 1,000 times 1.09 equals 1090, and if we times that by 9%, we get 1188, and if we times that by 9% in week 3 and in week 4, we're looking at 1 for 11. This calculator worked it out, the way that it did. But if we can hit that every week, then it would take roughly 6.5 months to get from 1K to 10K. Now, obviously, this is if you were to say 9% profit per week to any sort of forex trader, any hedge fund, any bank, they would slap you and tell you to leave the room because it's an absurd amount to try and go for reliably, consistently. But I do believe that in the crypto market, it is possible if you have a winning system. And this is what we're doing basically. We're fine tuning a system to provide consistent, reliable profit percentage wise while minimizing the risk as much as possible and getting that hit rate as high as possible. So by the end of week one, 1450. By the end of month two, just over 2 grand. And then from month three onwards, you see it begin to spiral where you basically go from making a grand a month to, making two and then 3 grand in 1 month. So it all depends, as the account grows, how we're going to play this. It may not be that we futures trade the entire amount. It might be that we get to, month two and we take 1 grand out of futures and put that 1 grand in a margin trading account while we trade the other grand separately on futures. All of this is going to evolve and become part of the strategy, and I'll keep you updated every step of the way. How we get this 9% profit per week is 3 trades in a day, each of them 1% risk. Now, occasionally I might do 2 trades in a day, and one of them is 2% risk, one of them is 1% risk. Sometimes I might just do 1 trade in a day, but it'll be 3% risk on that trade. So, that all depends as the opportunities present themselves, how confident I am in each trade. But each trade will have a minimum of 4 to 6% profit. I'm not going to go too far above six on these. If that's the case, then I'm just going to widen the stop loss, or increase the amount of risk I'm willing to take. So if you have $1,000 account and you're risking $10 on your stop loss, your total profit would be between 4 to 6%, which is $40 to $60. The trades won't be sent every day, but when they do get sent, we'll only get a 3% maximum risk per day. How do you enter? The channel will be open for all members. There's no fee right now until the 11th of January. And to be honest, even if you put some money into that account and you follow these trades until the 11th of January, you will easily make the 69 or $300 profit that you need to make in order to pay for entry. So I think that's a nice way of doing it. That way, everyone can sort of jump in at the start and understand and witness how it works. And from 11th of January, when we take this seriously, when we start the account again at $1,000, and then from there, everyone who joins will also be given a username color, and I'm going to make a new Wolfpack role where only that role will have access into that channel from the 11th of January. So we've still got 3/4 of a month to build up our accounts, to get the money, and before we get going. Now, in order to do this challenge, all you need is either a KuCoin or a Binance. I'm going to be doing it on KuCoin, so all the coins that you see will be available on KuCoin, but all the coins that are on KuCoin are also available on Binance. So I'm pretty much sure that it's all of them, to be honest, if not 99% of them. So you can do the challenge I recommend with either $500 or $1,000. If you're using $500, then all you have to do is half the order. So what I'm going to do is when I'm posting entry and exits on the 1 to 10K challenge, it will say like long order Bitcoin, and then for me, it will say something like 0.05 BTC, which is the total amount of Bitcoin that I'm buying. And I may even split it up. So I'll put like, over here I'll put 0.03 and over here I'll put 0.02. So okay, if on $1,000 account, at this entry you would buy this much, and at this entry you buy this much. And on a $500 account, at this one you would buy 0.015 and 0.01. So you would half every order amount. So if you're using a $1,000 account, if you're using a $500 account, you don't have to do any of this. You don't have to work out your risk ratio. You can just follow whatever's given on the order, but only if your account is the same size as my account, because I'll be using $1,000 account and it'll be easy to calculate if you have 1,000. Obviously, you could do with 100 as well, and then instead of 0.03, you do 0.003002. So you would do like I'm sorry, 10% of each order amount. But this just makes it as easy as possible for people to follow along. But if you want to find out how to calculate your risk, honestly, instead of me going through that, spending 2 minutes and boring you, you might as well just go to the Read First channel, and it is over here and also over here. You can watch these videos and it will tell you exactly what's up. And now, the last part, obviously, I can't fucking stress this enough. Um, Even people in the group right now, I know there's some of you who have blown up accounts in the past week, and it's because you're not doing this, you're not managing your risk. Often it's easy to take one or two big wins and then to lose it all within a few days, and then to go on a revenge trading spree and abandon all hope and just gamble away your last few pennies. But it's not, and like, to be honest, if I'm 100% honest with you, a few people probably end up doing that on the 1 to 10K challenge. And why do people do that? Because I think it's just a process you have to go through. I went through that process when I first started trading, and only when you trade the shit way and you realize, oh my God, this doesn't work. There's so much potential here, but I'm not fulfilling it. Then you can learn to, use the right method. And there was a post I put in the quotes channel over here, and this is the holy trinity of trading, because you can have all the psychology and you can have a good, system in terms of your trading. You can have the right lines drawn, and you can have the right indicators and everything. But if you don't know how to combine that with good psychology and good risk management, then you're not gonna be profitable. You're just gonna either lack an edge or you're gonna lack discipline. So the risk management section of trading, like figuring out what your maximum loss is, making sure you're not gonna lose more than that on the trade. I mean, everything else is provided for you. All you have to do is that last portion of the trade is just make sure that if this trade does go against us, we're not gonna, it's not gonna hurt, because there's always gonna be more trades. There's always gonna be another opportunity. Having patience is what will guide you toward that end goal, which is, this $10,000 challenge, this 10x, which is, again, probably the most difficult thing you can try and attempt in trading, is 10xing account. So to be able to do this with a system and to show it from start to finish is going to be a huge move for the group. So I'm really excited to do that with all of you. Um, and then just a few things to go over before. Oopsie. Um, where did I go? A few things to go over. what will be shared in the channel. Two entry levels, one take profit. Again, I will put the amounts, the order amounts in the entry in the signal, and along the way this time I will update. Okay, I've moved my stop loss to break even. I'll post chart updates along the way. I'll let you know when I decide to take, partial profit. I usually like to move 25% will be the first take profit. After that, the second time I take profit will be 50%. And then the rest of the trade, I like to just let it run. So, if you're taking 25% and then 50% of that, that's over half the order position has already been closed. You can move your stop to break even and you can let the rest run. But also sometimes, you just want to close the trade early. You realize, okay, it's going against me, it's peaked, it's topped, we've got bearish divergence. So you can just, dump it and move on, look for the next trade. Obviously, I will share these inputs. I will share when I decide to move my stop loss, when I take profit, but you are still free to manage the trade your way. You don't have to do it my way. I encourage you actually to learn that process. I don't want to, baby feed every single step of the way. I want people to expand and learn on their own as well. And in order to do that, you have to, go through that process of figuring out when do I take profit? When do I move my stop loss? When do I bail on a trade? The only thing I would do, or only thing I would say as a rule is sort of, once you have placed that trade, once you have put your entry and once you have put your stop loss, and sometimes the order comes, it hits your trade, and then it bounces a little, drops a little, bounces a little. In that period, just turn your screen off, don't look at it. Give it at least a day or 2 days from placing the trade and it being opened before you start moving your stop loss. I like to think like 24 hours, at least one day before you move your stop loss, because for me, at least, I'm a swing trader, so I like to, trade between like 3 to 5 day time frames. The max I'll keep trade open for is like 2 weeks. Um, and that's like if I've nailed the entry. So, learn to do that, but also know that, okay, I've put an entry, I've put a stop loss. My stop loss is 1% of my account. I don't care if I lose 1%. Let's move on with it. So that's an important thing to do. Don't fiddle with your stop loss in the first 24 hours. What will change on Jan 11th? Obviously, this period now, the next 3 weeks, is going to be a sort of warm up phase. Um, I'm going to fine tune this system. I'll introduce a few more rules. I'll introduce, a journal practice and so on. And we'll basically effectively build up the system to become more profitable in the long term. In the second week of Jan, just before the 11th, I will post a breakdown of this warm up phase. We'll analyze how well we did, and on January 11th, the account will go back to $1,000. The channel will go to the private, and we'll then do every fortnight. So every 2 weeks, we'll do another update on how the account is doing, how much profit we've made, what the results have been like, what's the hit rate like. There are a lot of I am honestly working on a lot of good things to introduce to the sub. I've got my guy Pandaman. Hope you're in the chat. Yes, Pandaman. He's working on a bot which I can actually show you over here. And what this does is this will this will automatically know when I put a trade in the channel, and then when the price does come down and hit the entry of that trade, it will send a notification in the channel saying this trade is now open. If the price of the coin then goes down and taps the stop loss, it will say, XMR stop loss hit, trade closed. If, we hit the take profit level, it will automatically pop an update in the chart saying, that we have taken profit on this trade closed. So, all of these are just going to make it really easy for everyone to follow along with the trades, know exactly what's happening. All you need is 15 minutes of your day, honestly. All you need is this. and 5 minutes per trade. If there's three trades going out per day, everyone knows it only takes 5 minutes to set your trade up, and um, from there it's just keep up to date with the Discord, see the notifications when they go out, and follow along. So yeah, I think that's everything about the 10K challenge. The I will post these rules. I'll post this video in the chat of the Discord, the 10K challenge. So you can always go over this again. I will put this as well as a sort of memorandum of where we're trying to go, and all of these rules will be visible as well, along with the instructions on how to manage your risk. So yeah, and also the 10K challenge. So if we start on the 11th of January, that's February, March, April, May, June, July. It's the 11th of July next year, 2022, and around about that time, I will be planning to be back in Bali. So if we've managed to successfully get close to 10K or hit 10K, I'll be more than excited and happy to throw a little celebration party in Bali on a big yacht where we can all come together and enjoy the fruits of our labor. So give me a thumbs up in the chat, give me a wolf howl or something if you like the sound of that. That's great. So, okay, I think that's it for this. I'm gonna save my recording.